Bangladesh, a nation accustomed to political tumult, found itself at a crossroads once again, grappling with a crisis that threatened to destabilize its already fragile political environment. The catalyst? The sudden and dramatic evacuation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to neighboring India, a move that shocked the nation and the international community alike. Her departure, a consequence of escalating unrest and fears for her safety, signaled a tipping point in the nation's fragile political landscape, highlighting the severity of the situation. The catalyst for this unrest was a deeply divisive job quota system, which had long been a source of contention among the populace. This system, seen by many as favoring certain segments of society, ignited widespread protests across Bangladesh, drawing people from all walks of life into the streets. As these demonstrations gained momentum, they were met with a swift and often heavy-handed response from the government, further inflaming the situation. Images of Hasina's evacuation, broadcast globally, painted a stark picture of the volatile situation, capturing the urgency and chaos of the moment. They showed a leader under siege, forced to flee her own nation to seek refuge, a dramatic turn of events that underscored the gravity of the crisis. Her destination, India, underscored the deep historical and strategic ties between the two countries, a relationship built on mutual interests and shared history. India, always wary of instability in its immediate neighborhood, granted Hasina temporary sanctuary, a move that was both a humanitarian gesture and a strategic decision. This act, while a humanitarian gesture, also carried significant geopolitical weight, signaling India's intent to remain a key player in Bangladesh's future and highlighting the intricate balance of power in South Asia. To comprehend the magnitude of Sheikh Hasina's fall, one must delve into the annals of Bangladesh's history. Hasina is not just a politician, she is a scion of Bangladesh's founding family. Her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, revered as the father of the nation, led Bangladesh to independence in 1971. This legacy, steeped in sacrifice and nation-building, cast a long shadow on Hasina's political career. She was seen by many, particularly within her own Awami League party, as the heir to her father's mantle. Her tenure as Prime Minister, spanning over a decade, was marked by both progress and controversy. On one hand, Bangladesh witnessed significant economic growth under her leadership. The nation made strides in poverty reduction and social development, earning praise from international institutions. On the other hand, Hasina's rule was often criticized for authoritarian tendencies. Her government was accused of stifling dissent, curbing press freedom, and undermining democratic institutions. These accusations, while vehemently denied by her supporters, contributed to a growing sense of unease among certain segments of Bangladeshi society. At the heart of the unrest that engulfed Bangladesh lay a seemingly innocuous policy, a job reservation system that sparked widespread controversy. This system, designed to uplift marginalized communities, became a lightning rod for discontent and public outrage. It stipulated that a certain percentage of government jobs be reserved for the descendants of the 1971 freedom fighters, a move that was both praised and criticized. While seemingly noble in its intent, the policy triggered a wave of resentment among those who felt excluded from these opportunities. Critics argued that it unfairly favored a particular group, creating a hierarchy of citizenship based on ancestry rather than merit, which they found deeply unjust. They contended that it perpetuated divisions within society rather than fostering unity and inclusiveness. The government, however, defended the quota system vehemently, standing firm in their decision. They argued that it was a necessary measure to address historical injustices and ensure that the sacrifices of the freedom fighters' families were acknowledged and rewarded appropriately. They maintained that it was a form of affirmative action, aimed at creating a more equitable society by leveling the playing field. The debate over the quota system, however, soon transcended the realm of policy discourse and entered the public consciousness. It morphed into a potent symbol of wider grievances, tapping into deep-seated anxieties about identity, fairness, and access to opportunity in Bangladeshi society, reflecting broader social tensions. The simmering discontent over the job quota system finally boiled over, engulfing the streets of Bangladesh in a wave of protests. What began as peaceful demonstrations, with students and young people at the forefront, quickly escalated into violent clashes with law enforcement. The government's response was swift and uncompromising. They deployed riot police using tear gas, water cannons and rubber bullets to disperse the crowds. As the protests spread, so did the crackdown. Internet services were disrupted, access to social media platforms was restricted, and a climate of fear descended upon the nation. The death toll from the protests continued to mount, further inflaming passions on both sides. Human rights groups condemned the government's handling of the situation, accusing them of using excessive force and arbitrary arrests. The government in turn blamed the violence on opposition parties and what they termed vested interests seeking to destabilize the country. The political crisis in Bangladesh sent ripples of concern throughout the region, particularly in India, as Bangladesh's closest neighbor and a key strategic partner. India watched the unfolding events with a mixture of apprehension and caution. India's interests in Bangladesh are multifaceted. The two countries share a long and porous border, making stability in Bangladesh crucial for India's own security. Bangladesh is also a vital trade partner for India, and its economic prosperity is seen as beneficial for the entire region. Beyond the bilateral relationship, the crisis in Bangladesh also has implications for the wider geopolitical dynamics of South Asia. China, India's regional rival, has been steadily increasing its influence in Bangladesh in recent years, pouring billions of dollars into infrastructure projects. Pakistan too has a vested interest in Bangladesh, given their shared history and cultural ties. The possibility of Bangladesh's turmoil spilling over its borders or being exploited by external actors has raised alarms in regional capitals. In a dramatic turn of events, the Bangladesh army chief stepped in, assuming control of the government and announcing the formation of an interim administration. This move, while presented as a necessary step to restore order, further deepened the political uncertainty and unrest among the populace. The interim government's first significant act was the release of Khaleda Zia, the leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, and Hasina's arch-rival. Zia, who had been under house arrest on corruption charges, was seen by many as a potential stabilizing force, given her stature and influence within the country. Her release, however, was met with mixed reactions from the public and political analysts alike. While her supporters celebrated her return to the political stage, others viewed it as a cynical ploy by the military to legitimize their power grab and maintain control. The international community, too, reacted cautiously, urging the interim government to ensure a swift and peaceful return to democratic rule, emphasizing the importance of fair elections. The formation of the interim government and Zia's release marked a new chapter in Bangladesh's tumultuous political journey, filled with both hope and skepticism. It remained to be seen whether this would pave the way for a genuine and inclusive democratic transition, or merely entrench the military's grip on power, leaving the future of the nation hanging in the balance. The international community, faced with the rapidly evolving situation in Bangladesh, found itself grappling with a familiar dilemma: how to balance concerns for stability with the imperative to uphold democratic principles. The United States, a key development partner for Bangladesh, expressed deep concern over the violence and called for restraint from all parties. They urged the Bangladeshi government to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms, while also acknowledging the need to address legitimate security concerns.